Okay, it's crazy weather outside, but it looks like we back in full effect. Let's get it. Let's get it. Hope you're feeling good this morning. My name is Haziq Ali. I'm so grateful to be here with you this morning. For those that have never tuned in before, every Monday we focus on mindset because our whole goal is helping you become more so you'll do more, so you'll have more. As you become something different, you'll naturally begin to do things that you normally wouldn't have done, which will start to get you results you've never had before. But it starts with who you are, and who you are starts with how you think. I hope that makes sense. Every Wednesday, we focus on marketing because it's all about attracting your perfect client. Who is your perfect client? What do you do to make sure that you are magnetic to them? Number Thursday. Every Thursday is about leadership because I truly believe every problem in society, every problem in your household, every problem in your organization is really a problem of leadership. Every Friday is Free Coaching Friday, but today is Tuesday, baby, and it's all about sales tips. Don't nothing move until you sell something. Does that make sense? And so I believe that we in the profession of sales are in the world's most noble profession. I think this is the profession that makes kings of ordinary men. I think this profession makes kings out of commoners. I think this makes queens out of average, ordinary ladies. And if you can learn sales, then you become more powerful. I believe that, even parenting is all about, do you have more influence over your children than their peer group does, than the stranger does, the guy that's offering them drugs? You get what I'm saying to you? It all boils down to you becoming something that has more power inside. So I want you to shout yourself out real quick as we get started for another edition of Good Morning Millionaire. Right now, I challenge you to rep your city. Let them know where you're checking in from. I don't care if you're checking in on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn. Rep your city, y'all. Rep your city. What's up, Samaya? Glad you're here. My man Damon made it in. Good, good, good. Jasmine. Chanel, what's up? Michael Douglas checking in. Florence, South Carolina in here. I love that. What's up, Kay? Good morning, good morning. Ray in the house. Good morning, Queen. Y'all ready to get it? Let them know you're checking in. If you're watching on Instagram, please do us a favor and share that thing down there. I think it's right down there in the corner. There's like a little arrow right there. Share this with another entrepreneur. What's up, Kay? Glad you made it in this morning. Raina, what's up? Charmalyn in the house. Let me call in on the live line so we can get this party started. How y'all feeling this morning? Hope you feel good. Hope you feel good. Dennis is in the house. What's up, man?
Special. You have greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're in the right place at the right time because we're going to bring
the here I come,
millionaire out of you. Just hold on.
There are.
All right, here we go.
Thank you.
Sierra, what's up?
Please announce yourself.
William in the house. What's up, William?
All participants are muted.
Gwen up in here.
Entry and exit tones are off.
Dr. Marilyn Johnson is in the house. Yeah, I appreciate it, Dominique, and everybody checking in from LinkedIn. My man, Joseph David, what's up with you, man? Yuli, good morning, good morning. All right, so it looks like we're starting to get here. I really appreciate everybody being here and showing up for yourselves. But, I feel a part of that in some ways. So I just want to say gratitude and I love you all for being here this morning as well. Where you from, man? We want to know where you're from. If this is your first time ever being with us, maybe you don't even know, but this morning we're talking about sales. This morning we're talking about sales and this whole idea that there are some really cool things you can do to be a better mentor if you're so inclined. If you're somebody that recognizes that, you have a team that's counting on you. The way Mine always says it is like, yo, they betting on us. You know what I mean? They betting on us. And so I want to challenge you to kind of look at that from a different perspective and ask yourself, what can I do to become better as a mentor to the people who are counting on me? There was a time when I was speaking to 3 or 4 corporations every single week on the subject of customer service, on the subject of leadership, on the subjects of management, right? And I remember still when there started to be this big shift in the way that people were being managed. All of a sudden, everybody was looking over this one key aspect of leadership, and that's mentorship. It's wild, y'all. But if you're going to have an organization, you got to have a balance between having some rules and some traditions and some things and some rituals, basically, but you also got to have perpetual innovation. You got to be constantly getting better, right? And what's crazy is that if you are trying to be perpetually innovative, if you are somebody who's looking to dominate, you want to win on a major level, you're trying to stay abreast of all the cutting edge changes and all of that. And then you mix that in with this kind of corporate stuffy structure, a lot of stuff can get lost in the sauce. A lot of people can end up frustrated. A lot of mixed messages can happen. And I found one common thread amongst every company that was winning, amongst every organization that was dominating, and that is incessant learning, nonstop learning, daily learning. What I'm saying, learning, in fact, is the ability to learn faster. When I'm talking about learning, I'm saying you're learning faster than your competition. That's probably the only advantage you got. That's probably the only sustainable advantage you got. You hear me? It's like, how well do you learn? Am I making sense to somebody out there? Somebody say, learning is my number one advantage. Learning is my number one advantage. If I could get you to understand that, we on our way, baby. Somebody give it to me. Learning is my number one advantage. Learning is my number one advantage. Can somebody understand what I'm saying right there? Learning, y'all. Learning is my number one advantage. I ain't joking. It's all about your ability to absorb information and apply it quicker than everybody else. It's all about your ability to recognize when what you're doing isn't working. Yeah, we ain't gonna fix it if it's broken, but some of us don't recognize something is broken so we can fix it. You don't pick this stuff up unless you're interested in learning. Every element of success has with it a learning component. The challenge is for you to be able to spread the knowledge that you're gaining, right? The concept here, the brilliance in what we're talking about this morning is that every leader has to strive to be a mentor. You've got to strive to be more connected. I had a real deep conversation about this last night because obviously the dilemma is how, right? The dictionary definition of a mentor is they are a trusted advisor. It's a sensitive, trusted advisor, right? I think the first time we ever heard of a mentor was in that book they made you read in high school, The Odyssey. Anybody remember that? The Odyssey. Anybody remember that? Yeah, with the mentor was this family friend who was left in charge of tutoring the guy. I forget his name, but anyway, they always talk about how that was the first example of mentoring in literature. And most people think of a mentor as someone not in their chain of command, and that's true, but it's not true. Check it out. It's all in how you approach it. It's all in how you kind of see what it is that you are looking at. A mentor is the highest level. It's the most respected coach. He's the one that the coach calls for advice. You got me? So how does a leader carry out an insight goal from an in-charge role? Like here you are in the thick of it. How are you also supposed? I'm gonna tell you, by taking a position of mentor, by leveling the learning field, making everybody in the chain of command an equal learner. No hidden motives, no political motives. Since learning always is going to involve experimentation, learning is always going to involve risk taking, learning is always going to involve trial and error, or should I say trial and measure. You're going to have to make mistakes. You're going to need trust. You're going to have to be really involved with them. And so what I got for you is a short formula that you can use for beginning to think and act like a mentor. to the people that give you the gift of influence over their lives. Am I making sense? I'm going to give you sort of like a formula, a framework that you can write down that will allow you to be better as a mentor when it comes to creating people who produce, creating earners, which is what I'm assuming you want if you are doing this. So please share this with a fellow entrepreneur. Let them know we in the house. You know, we about to turn this thing up. What's up, Kalin? Kalin in the house. Yo, I'm about to give it to you. Like somebody like Kalin who owns spas and whatnot. She has staff. This is probably going to help. Many of you have home-based businesses. I have a feeling this is going to be very helpful to you. But what I want you to do while I'm giving you these pieces of this formula is I want you to kind of look at how you can apply this. Here's the first one, y'all. Anchor all learning to a mission, a vision, or a purpose. That's important. Anchor all learning to a vision, a mission, or a purpose. Check this out, y'all. Maybe you knew this, maybe you didn't. But a lot of times people confuse discipline and what they're really talking about. What they're really talking about is habits and a vision. They look at it and they say, man, that person is so disciplined. But really what they're talking about is habit and vision. It's like a multiplication problem. So if what I'm doing is I'm trying to teach this person something, I'm not going to, it's like an egg. I always describe it like an egg. Like with an egg, if you have a newborn hatchling, right? Check it out. If the crack happens from outside the shell, then life is going to end. But if the crack happens from inside the shell, then life is beginning. How do I make that crack happen from inside the shell? I'll tell you how. I got to anchor it to a mission. I got to anchor it to a vision, or I have to anchor it to a purpose. I got to break it down to a specific goal. I have to break it down to a specific job that needs to be achieved. People are going to learn way faster if they have a why behind the what. Is that worth writing down? People are always going to learn faster if there's a why behind the what. As a matter of fact, that's my definition of a vision. For those that have read my book, my definition of a vision is when it's a what combined with a why. That's what makes it bigger than just a goal. It's the fact that you've got the why in there, which kind of dictates all these different pathways to getting to the goal. Because it's bigger than just a singular event. This is a vision you have, something that was given to you by the Most High. People will always learn faster if they have a why behind the what. If that makes sense to you, somebody give it to me. Somebody give it to me. Come on, y'all. Having a what behind the why makes them learn faster. Was that worth writing down? Having a what behind the why makes people learn faster. I want to challenge you to jot that down. Having a what behind the why makes people learn faster. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Is that making sense? Share this with an entrepreneur. I'm telling you, this could save your business, save your bank account. You know what I mean? Help you accelerate your impact. Here's the second one. Here's the second part of the formula. So you've anchored what it is you're teaching with where they say they want to go, which takes so many pieces, right? But I'm just giving you the end result. Now it's making you listen more. It's making you inquire more about what they're into. You're not making it all about yourself. You're getting a feel for who it is you're talking to. What's their personality type? Why did they say yes in the first place? Why did they decide to come work for you? What is their eventual goal? Do you even know? So that you can do little things to help prepare them for where they're going. There was this story about Warren Buffett and his pilot, and how the pilot was like flipping through this magazine. He was like, man, you know, I would love to fly one of these planes. We should get one of these kind of things, right? This is about to come out in the next 4 or 5 years. And Warren Buffett looks at him and he's like, man, if you're still working for me in 4 or 5 years, I've done something horribly wrong. This ain't even the type of time where people stay at one. But check this out. If you want to increase the bond you have, you got to get a feel for what it is they want and then help them get there. They aren't just there to serve you, you're there to serve. This is where that word understanding comes from. Are you standing under them and lifting them up? But here's the second one: demonstrate confident humility. Demonstrate confident humility. Confident humility. What do I mean by that? You got to balance between confidence and arrogance, right? There's a thin line between confidence and confidence breeds confidence. Arrogance breeds insecurity. You hear me? Authenticity, though, is only going to come from this spirit of meekness, this spirit of humility, this spirit of you not saying, thinking less of yourself, but thinking less of yourself, thinking more of others. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, because there's a couple different definitions. The one I'm using is not the one where it's like you acting like a slave and all of that, because that's why we don't like using the word. Some of us went and looked it up and we ain't like one of them definitions. I'm not talking about that definition right now. What I'm speaking of right now is not thinking less of yourself. I'm speaking of thinking more of other people. I'm trying to tell you something. There was this story, this keynote speaker was given, and he was talking about, to him, the essence of it was when his teenage son said to him, when my dad tells me something, I don't buy it. But when he cries, I cry. Does that make sense to somebody out there? Did that hit you? Yo, when they saying something, it's like, we like, meh. But when they show us, it's like we tend to believe it a lot easier. Is that a fact, y'all? See, that's what I'm talking about when I say you got to demonstrate confidence, but also humility. So we're calling it confident humility. If you're ready for number 3, give me a number 3 and a share. Somebody say confident humility and then give me a share. Confident humility and then give me a share. If that's making sense to you. Only if it's making sense. If it ain't, it ain't. But does that feel good to you? Is this something that you notice from different leaders in your life? Here's the third one I got for you. This is part of the formula. And by the way, this Thursday's masterclass is going to be insane. I'm doing a free masterclass. If you want to join it for free, all you have to do is join the newsletter. That's how we're sending out the link. Thursday night at 8 p.m., we're doing this training on how to be in the top 1% of any company that sells something. We're going to lay out 7 simple steps to leaving the 99% behind. And all you have to do to participate in that masterclass is join the newsletter. It's right there, millionaireminded.com, and you'll get the link straight to your inbox. We're doing a different format for the Kaizen Academy starting now. So this is going to be our inaugural class. So I hope you're ready for it. If somebody's ready for that, in the comments, type Kaizen. Somebody type Kaizen. If you know, you know. Kaizen. Somebody type Kaizen. And then I'm going to keep on going with this formula. I just had to shout that out real quick. Number three. Use dramatic listening. What do I mean by dramatic listening? Right? We've talked about listening in so many different ways and shapes and forms and fashions on our morning show here, right? But what do I mean by dramatic listening? What I mean by dramatic listening is listen to them, your follower, the person that's given you the gift of influence over their life, and listen to them like they're your hero. Listen to them like there's somebody you always wanted to, like imagine if you were just loved you, maybe you would love to be interviewing Robert Johnson and started BET, or Reginald Lewis, who did the first $1 billion deal with Beatrice, or maybe you would rather interview Barack Obama or Abraham Lincoln, right? Maybe you want to interview Ben Franklin. Maybe you want to interview, Imhotep. maybe your hero is Martin Luther King. What I'm saying to you is that if you were talking to them and the phone rang, would you say, "Just a second, Martin, let me take this phone call"? Is that how you would talk to Dr. King? I doubt it. Would you be reading your email while you're sitting there talking to Ben Franklin, who you always wanted to chop it up with? Or would you be listening dramatically, hanging under every single word they say, taking notes furiously? It would be dramatic, right? See, what's my point here? My point is this: everybody knows how to listen. People just don't make it a priority. You got me? Everybody knows how to listen. People just don't make it a priority. I think that's worth writing down. Let's go. Yeah, this Kaizen Academy is going to be cold. Watch what I tell you. Yeah. All right, if you're ready for number 4, somebody say Kaizen and let's get it. Yeah, this Thursday at 8 p.m., y'all. Appreciate that. All them Kaizens coming in. Y'all remember? Yeah, okay, let's go. This is going to be an incredible Thursday. All right, here's the 4th one I got for you. This is huge. This is huge, y'all. This is the 4th one. Ask permission to give advice. Ask permission to give advice. Wow, y'all see that lightning and all that? It's going ham out this joint. But check it out. That's the 4th one I got for you. Ask permission before you start giving advice, because at the end of the day, the crux of mentoring is giving advice. But the challenge of advice is that we have a natural resistance to it. People don't take advice for whatever reason. For whatever the circumstance is, people do not take advice. So remember, I got one for you. What was your reaction the last time somebody said, let me give you some advice? How did you feel? How did you feel? You know what I'm saying? Think about it. What if instead you said something like, okay, so I have some ideas that might be useful if you think they might be helpful, right? What if I say, would you mind a little coaching? Did you want some feedback? What if I said something like that? Because when I ask permission, it keeps control where it belongs, which is with the person that's learning, while also eliminating resistance. Now we're creating this atmosphere of acceptance. Now it's not we're non-judgmental, we're non-prejudicial. There's no prejudice. There's no you feeling less than or more than, for that matter. Now we're meeting up. We feeling more equally yoked. Am I making sense? Who remembers their reaction to their parents' advice, right? A lot of times we ignored our parents until after, God forbid, they pass away. My point to you is that you got to kind of remember this. Everybody who's here who has a deceased father like I do, you know how much you wish you could thank them. You know how much you wish you could talk to them. But it happened after they was, you hear me? So all I'm saying is, if you want to create this atmosphere where it's non-judgmental, if you want to create this atmosphere where it's a little less parental and a little bit more of a partnership, right? Then what you want to do is ask permission to give advice. And here's the last one I got for you, and we out of here, y'all. You ready for number 5? Yeah, exactly, Samaya. Exactly. It always depends on who said it and how it was said. That's an absolute fact. That's an absolute fact. Yeah, Gina, raised eyebrows, etc. Yeah, for real. All right, here's the 5th one I got for you. Say it in the first person. Say it in the first person singular. Give your advice in the first person. Like, what am I saying? I'm saying tell a story. Use personal experience. This when you're doing public speaking, we call this earning the right. You want to earn the right because they're sitting there. If you're doing any kind of mind reading, you realize they're sitting there like, check it out. Why are you here? Like, what makes you qualified, right? Well, it's the same thing with a mentorship relationship, because even though they love you and they respect you, they may not be aware of how you were just going through this same exact thing they're going through right now. Am I making sense to somebody out there? Is that helpful? If that's helpful, drop some money bags and share this with somebody. What I'm saying to you is that if you will learn that stories are the first form of entertainment, that stories are the first form of education, that stories build rapport, stories hold attention, then what you'll do a little bit more is use your personal experience to share the wisdom. Eliminate all that you should and what you ought to do and, what you need to do, and instead talk about what you did, what you had to do. what you experienced, what you did, watch this, wrong. I cannot tell you how powerful it is when you tell us a story and we immediately associate ourselves with the lead character. And then what happens is wherever you take that lead character, however that lead, and this is any cartoon you ever watch, this is any movie you ever watch, this is any documentary, because of the story, we learn. We learn what to do. This is any song you listen, watch this. This is any song you listen to. This is any movie you watch. We identify with the lead character and the way that they solve their problems. We add that into our menu of possible options to solve that problem. Am I making sense to somebody out there? Stories are the original form of entertainment. Stories are the original form of education. I'm telling you right now, even as a mentor, facts tell, stories sell. So when you're giving that advice, wrap it up in a story. Wrap it up in a story. Am I making sense, y'all? Wrap that thing up, man. I'm talking about even when you're telling them something simple about one of my mentors. We once taped an hour-and-a-half presentation he did. This dude did at least 60 stories in an hour and a half. That's almost one story every minute and a half. But did you see how I just did that? I told you that in story form. I was like, but how could I have done that better? I could be like, I remember we were sitting there watching one of my mentors give a keynote, and me and my buddy, who was really my accountability partner, we said, why don't we count how many stories he tells? Do you know at the end of that, we had one story every minute and a half. So you see what I did? I told you the story in one way the first time, then I put more on it the second time. And you got to do that. You got to have 60-second versions of your story, 6-minute versions of your story, 60-minute versions of your story. But I'm going to tell you one thing, you need to be using more of your stories. I hope I'm making sense to somebody out there. Here's the last one I got for you. This is kind of a bonus. Oh man, we got one of the GOATs of all time on this joint. My man Todd Dickerson. Now, y'all don't know, but I'm gonna tell you something. Yeah, Mama Mahasan. Let's go. That's it. Don't tell them what you learned from your successes. Tell them what you learned from your failures. Do you know that people relate way more to your tragedy than they do your triumph? You know, a lot of the people that are looking up to you, they don't even know what it feels like to triumph. Do you know most people never get a standing ovation the rest of their life after high school graduation? Did you know that? So how can they relate to you conquering every mountain, you being this king, you being this queen? They look up to that, but they don't relate to that. What they relate to is your tragedy. What they relate to is your trials. What they relate to is your tribulations, not your triumph. I hope I'm making sense. All right, and here's the last one I got for you. Be a learning role model, y'all. Be a learning role model. Let people follow your learning lead. If you want your people to demonstrate curiosity, demonstrate yours. If you want your people to take risks, they got to see your mistakes as well as your victories. Am I making sense? Be a learning role model. Show them you ain't scared to go out there and fall on your face in front of everybody. Go out there and show them, because you know what's going to happen? Your humility is going to increase. What do we say? Humility ain't thinking less of myself. It's thinking more of other people. So if I get out there in front of them and I fall off the bike, all of a sudden they feel a little bit more brave. Like, well, darn, if he can do it, if she can do it, who am I to be out here scared to do it? This is clearly how you get to his level. This is clearly how she got to her level. In closing, millionaires, celebrate excellence, right? Celebrate the effort. I see excellence as them excelling forward, right? We're not just celebrating the results, y'all. Celebrate the process. You don't have to celebrate the victory or the defeat when what you could do is look at their effort. Don't you know that's what makes Montessori schools better than every other school? The reason why you saving up your coins to get your child into a Montessori school is that in Montessori, your child will scribble some literal garbage and they'll be like, wow. And John Maxwell explains why. Because there is not a single person on the planet that functions better in an environment of criticism than they do an environment of approval. So celebrate the effort. If you only reward results, you're never going to get the learning from your people. You're never going to get the risk taking from your people. You're never going to get the growth from your people that's necessary if you're going to be the leader, that you're going to emerge as this powerhouse. The secret to mentoring other people in a nutshell is just recall your mentors, recall your favorite teachers, recall your favorite coaches, and then ask yourself, what traits did they demonstrate that made me love them so much? What traits did they demonstrate that got me to listen? And then use more of those. Am I making sense? The basis of all of this stuff is going to be mentoring. And we're going to talk more about it Thursday night. So mark your calendar. One more time, if you didn't join the email list, do it right now. This will get you the link to Thursday night's class absolutely free, because most sales training is really motivational speaking. It is not sales training unless there's accountability and there's role play. You hear me? The basis of this thing is mentoring. And if you want to be a better mentor, if you want to be a better, leader, you have no choice but to be a better mentor. Or another way to put it is, you can love the people without leading them, but you'll never be able to lead the people without loving them. And love is an action word. Love is an action word. All right, y'all. I hope that was helpful. We're about to take it over here to Instagram. If you're on the live line, come check us out, Mr. Haziq Ali. We're about to go do our affirmations. Let's get it. All right. And remember, either your mind has to expand to match your goals, or your goals will just start to shrink to match your mind. Mr. Haziq Ali on Instagram, y'all. Let's